was a blue, and that's the one that I took Bob down here with. It was a blue Ford. It was a nice kind of a mint blue, like a light sky blue. Dusty blue, I kind of thought of it as the dusty blue. It was an older car. It was a Ford of some kind. It was a car. It was an older car, and I got it real cheap. And that's what we went to Arkansas with. And that was like in the 93 or something like that when I went down here. And that's the one that broke down. What do you call it? The power steering went out. And it wasn't that big of a deal. They fixed it while we ate. We were on the interstate towards St. Louis. And it broke down. You know, it started giving me more and more trouble. It gradually came out, and I kind of knew it was developing as we were driving. And at first it was just like a sound, and then I realized something's wrong. And then finally it got bad enough where I had to get it fixed. And they replaced it. It wasn't a big deal. I mean, I would not like something like that now. It didn't seem to bother me back then. I guess I was used to living like that or something. But eventually that car just simply died after the trip. This was after the trip. It was, when I bought it, it was worn out, and I knew it, but I got it real cheap, and it got us through the trip fine. But later on, I took it in, and they says, this car's got too many problems. And that's when I got the Cadillac. That's when I realized I had to get the Cadillac, when I started looking for another car. And the car before the Blue Duster, Ford, was a Skylark 2, but it turned out to be no good, and I never got to drive it. I had my very first car. We could start from the very first car I owned. Was a Dodge Charger. Dad got it for me. And when I went to build the house, I needed a truck. So I traded the car in for a truck. And I got a 66 Ford 1-ton. And it was a big truck. It was a fairly nice truck. It was older. Not a real expensive thing. I mean, I traded it for the car. And I drove the truck for a year. I don't know, I drove it for a while. I don't really remember how long I drove it. But it wasn't a type of vehicle you'd want to drive to Chicago. It was a big truck. It was like a steak truck. It was green. And I put a new radiator in it. Harry kind of helped me, talked me through it. And we got the radiator there was a place on the corner, G and 21. And they're not there anymore now. The people died, and they put it up for auction, I don't know, 3 or 4 years ago or something like that. But you used to be able to get parts off old vehicles, and they'd go and get the part off the car and sell it to you. And I think you could even go back there yourself and take the parts off. At some of them you can. I don't know if you could do that there. But we got the radiator there, and I put it in the truck. I did a replacement of a radiator. Harry knew how to do that kind of stuff, and I think he kind of talked me through it a little bit. But there was a lot of room in there to work. It wasn't that hard to do. There was a lot of space to work in that truck. Whereas in the newer cars, there's no room. And then I decided I wanted a car again. I'd kind of gotten done with the superstructure of the house. I didn't have a kitchen on yet though, but I got done with the other part. And I got my car back, the Dodge Charger. Brought the same car back. and I gave him some silver, and I had silver at the time, and I don't remember what it came out to be worth, but you know, it was some money. And they gave me a chainsaw with it, which was a chainsaw I used for some years. I got a car and a chainsaw. And I was going to go to Chicago probably to take care of Uncle Bob. I needed a car to drive Uncle Bob around in, and so I decided to take the Charger down, and I drove to Chicago, and when I got to Manheim Road, which was near where they lived, I think they lived in Brookfield at the time, so I got on Manheim Road, damn brakes went out. They completely, catastrophically went out. And I limped to a place. Manheim has a lot of body shops and mechanical places and stuff. It's kind of a strode. And they told me, they said, somebody put the wrong fluid in the brakes, and it ruined all the brakes in the car. The whole brake system was ruined. And then I had a slight issue with the carburetor, which always was a problem, and they said between the brakes was real expensive, and they said to fix this other thing too was expensive, and I ended up abandoning the car. It wasn't worth, I was stranded. I can't remember, Bob came and picked me up or what. I mean, I wasn't that far from Bob's place, you know, from the marshes. I think Bob probably came and picked me up. And then I took care of, I think that's when I dated Gang. I took care of Bob then. I had a bike. I used a bike. I think I used one of Bob's bikes to get around. And then I bought the blue, I think that's when I bought the blue Duster, the Ford. And that was when we went on the trip maybe. I don't know if the timeline is perfect, but I spent all that money on that Dodge Charger, and the guy had put the wrong, he put power steering in the brakes or something like that. He put something in it that it ruined the whole brake system of the car. And it ruined the car basically. Just a goofy thing. I mean, it so then I had the blue Duster, and then we took the trip with the blue Duster. I think I was supposed to drive maybe I was even supposed to drive that Charger on that trip. That would have been a nice car. Would have been a nice car to drive that trip with. The trip was later though. I don't even know if I don't know if I was going down there to do a trip or what. Or if the trip was later. I mean, this is back a ways. Here's 65. Turn on 65, I think. I'm gonna check the map. I wanna see where I'm at. Okay, I'm busy talking here. Okay, we're at 599.6. I don't think I'm in the way here. That's a little cafe there. Okay, 599.6, and it's 8:52. I gotta get my map out. Here it is. Oh, that's not the right map. I gotta put this one away. I want to know where I'm at. Where is that atlas? Oh, that's folding. Where's that atlas at? Where is that? Here, let's turn this off. I don't want to leave that running. I gotta find the atlas. This isn't the right one either. Where's the good one at?